Hi, my friends. Good morning. So let's continue from where we left off in the previous class, learning Linode. All right. So we'll start off from networking, and we should be able to, go through the remaining parts that we need to cover for the Linode training program. All right. So I'll see you in class. All right, my friends. So in the previous session, we were able to cover the Linode compute resources, the storage resources, as well as a couple of the networking resources. So we covered VPC, firewalls, load balancers, and let's quickly talk about domain. So I actually have a domain configured here from one of the classes. I'm going to, reconfigure the same domain. Let's start by deleting this domain. So I'm going to delete hackaday.xyz. I currently have this domain, pulled up here, right here on Namecheap, right? And yeah, I mean, once you purchase your domain on Namecheap, you can basically set up your management to happen within Akamai or Linode, right? Okay, so let's click on domains and we'll select create domain. Okay, so this is going to be your primary domain here. We'll call this hackaday.xyz, and I'll just put in my email in there, as the management admin. Okay, and let's go ahead and click on create domain. All right, so when you click on create domain, you see we have this domain set up here. It's asking us to include the name server records on the platform where we basically purchased the domain name, right? So we have NS1 down to NS5 as the NS records here. We are expected to put this on the hackaday.xyz. So let's go ahead and do that here. On the name server section, we have Namecheap configured by default. Let's select custom DNS. We're going to put in the records here 1, 2, 3, 4. So I think I have 2, and this would be name server 3. Just like this, we have that of 4. And then finally, we have 5. Okay, so I have this record set up here. I'll click on the green check here. Okay, and this would save the record on Namecheap. Okay, so this might take some time, but hopefully it doesn't take up to 48 hours here. It takes usually from my experience using Namecheap, say 5 to 10 minutes, right? But while we wait for that, we'll just proceed to set up a simple application on Vassal that we can use. So let's click on add new project. On Vassal, I'm going to select this project. This is an AI chatbot. Let's select something straightforward. So let's go with the boilerplate. Let's click on that. Let's go ahead and create this. I think I have a repository already called. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go back, and from here I will just select this. Okay, so let's import. All right, so this is Next.js boilerplate. Let's just work with the defaults. Click on deploy. All right, so this might take some time. We are going to wait for this deployment to be completed. Okay, so right here on Linode, you can see you can include the MS records, the A records, your CNAME records, and at the end of the day, you can also include tags by specifying that this project belongs to one of the projects you have here. So I can select Marv, which is the previous tag we used. Yeah, you can add multiple tags, by the way. From here, you can also delete the domain. So what we are going to do next would be to configure this. I think it is still deploying, so we still have to wait. Okay, I think it's ready. Yeah, it's ready. All right, so now that our deployment is completed, let's just click on continue to dashboard, and I'm going to click on domains right here. Okay, I'm going to include our domain, which is hackaday.xyz. All right, let's click on add, and let's work with the recommended option here. Okay, so we're going to copy some of the records that we find here. It says project not found. That's quite weird. Let's try that again. Okay, all right, so we're going to configure the details here. This is the value for our A record. Let's put that up here. So let's click on add A record, put the IP, configure that with at. Okay, so the next record we have here would be the CNAME record. So let's copy that. So now you can see that this has been configured. That was quite fast today. Okay, so let's select the CNAME record. Let's select CNAME. Where is CNAME? Okay, right here. Okay, so let's put that there, and for the alias we're working with www. Okay, so let's save that. Yeah, so now that we've added this, that would also be configured here. All right, so let's wait for a while. This should be configured. Let's refresh. Okay, let's refresh this as well. All right, so this is saying invalid configuration. It's definitely trying to resolve, and yeah, we have arcade.xyz now. Let's pull that up in a private tab to see what we have. So I think this is still okay. We still have that configuration. We still have that. Yeah, we still have it. Trying to resolve. So we have www. Let's try that first. Okay, so let's see what we have. Still the same thing. So yeah, that would usually take a while. Let's refresh this page to see the actual status of the domain name. All right, so yeah, back to where we left off. As you can see, the domain is configured, and we can move on to the next. Okay, so it actually took a while for the domain to be configured. I believe over 30 minutes or so before we were able to resolve the domain, which is crazy. Anyways, moving on, I'm simply going to delete this so we don't keep it here. We don't want to incur any cost on this, so let's take that off. The next thing we have here would be databases. So I've also explained this in one of the previous classes. You see I have a database here, but I can create a new cluster, right? And our database options can be either MySQL or Postgres. So for now, Linode does not have an offering for MongoDB or any other NoSQL database. We just have relational databases here. I would go with Postgres, and I would call this Marv new DB because I already have one called Marv DB. Okay, so you have to select a region. Yeah, let's go ahead and select a region. Click on this, Frankfurt. Nope, Frankfurt. Yeah. All right, so let's go with the shared CPU option for something much cheaper. This is 1 gigabyte with the 9 gigabyte storage. Of course, if you want to learn more about the details of these options, you can always reach out to the community on Discord, and we would respond to you. Or if you are currently part of the Beta Copper training watching this video, then of course reach out to the Telegram community for the Beta Copper Cloud Engineering program, and you would get your response right there in the group. Okay, so if I select the shared CPU option, Linode 1 GB, I can proceed to use a single node. I don't want up to 3 nodes. Yeah, you can also specify the IP address or the range of IP addresses that you would want to connect to this database. For now, let's just say no access, so we can configure that later after creating the database. Okay, so by clicking on this button, we have our database created right here, but let's go back and let's refresh. Okay, so we have the new database being provisioned. We can select the previous database that we have configured earlier, and we can basically check out the monitoring section here, where we get to see the CPU usage and any other metric that would determine the usage of our database, right? We can configure backups, which is very important if you are running a production database, and you can basically resize your DB, right? You can select a different plan from here, even while you have your database running, simply because you have gotten to a point where you probably want to scale, right? And from the settings section here, you can of course make some adjustments. For example, resetting the root password, managing access level, right? Or probably suspending the cluster. Okay, so this is your summary, where you have your username, password, database name, the host configuration URL, the host URL. You can basically see the port that this is running on, and you can see that this also has SSL enabled. So if you are working with a node application, probably before production deployment, you want to download your CA certificate and include that in your code base so that you can have a secure connection to your database. All right, so that is it for databases. I am going to delete these set of clusters right now. So the first one and the second one, which is just MarvDB, let's select that, and of course delete MarvDB. All right. Okay, so now that we have the databases deleted, the next thing we have here is Longview. Longview is basically a good observability tool. The way it works is you create a client, which will then give you a URL that you can use to install an agent on your instance. It can be a Linode instance, it can be a different instance from another platform. But the idea is that you should be able to receive metrics right here in the Linode dashboard. With that configuration setup. By setting this up on your instance, you would get a dashboard where you can basically monitor your server, right? You can monitor your server and you can see what is going on with your server, from the CPU usage, to the RAM usage, swap disk usage, and network and storage metrics as well. So yeah, and you can actually set up multiple plans. So if you want to have a Longview Pro 3-pack, you have this specific number of clients that can use this, and the data retention is unlimited, right? Unlike the first one, which is the free plan that we're currently using, that has a data retention time of just 12 hours. Okay. If you want to learn more about Longview specifically, we'll be having a masterclass to teach how to use and configure Longview very soon. So keep an eye out on the announcement that will be shared with you guys in the announcement channels on Discord as well as on Telegram. All right. So yeah, I mean, in the remaining section here, we simply have account details, help and support, and some of the beta updates that will be rolling in very soon. So you see, for example, we have Akamai app platform, which I believe is going to be similar to the DigitalOcean app platform, right? I don't know when this will be generally available for everyone to use, but it seems promising, and hopefully when it comes up on the platform, I will definitely make some videos or content, teaching you how to use that as well. All right, so that is it for Linode, Akamai. In the next set of sessions we're going to have, we'll be covering DigitalOcean. So do well to follow the materials in the community. Do well to follow the materials in the Telegram and Discord groups. I'll see you in the next session. Do have a wonderful time. Bye.